right, so I want to talk about the PhD morning routine and the two words that everybody is going to understand if once you get into a PhD program is really about efficiency and optimization. And you're going to really feel this as you're doing your PhD. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship, and I create this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor for it, to help you out as much as I possibly can. All right, so your morning routine, it is going to be very mundane when you're doing a doctoral program. It is going to be the same thing every other day. But this is not very different than most sort of other careers, right? You have a lot of routine when you get up and you do things. It is the same thing every single day. So what are you going to do? What's kind of the normal morning routine for me, and what does that look like? Well, I get up, I might get some exercise for, anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes, whatever that might look like. It might be a walk, it might be, I was jogging, I hurt my hip, so I'm out of that for a bit. Now I'm doing a little bit of swimming at night. That's what it's going to be for the first little bit. And you go, for me, and then I'm going to go and have a shower, brush my teeth, get breakfast. Then I'm going to go and drop the kids off at school because I am the person that does that. My wife can't do that with the career that she has. So I'm the one that generally drives them, to school. It used to be to and from school. Now we have a helper at night, which is really nice. For me, I spend maybe about half an hour to 40 minutes working on the reciprocity project. Then I drive into work, and then I'll write or read for 2 to 4 hours and then have lunch. And that's really the morning routine that we all have. But here's what you're going to experience when you're doing this is there's going to be lots of repetition, and it's going to be repeating day in and day out and day in and day out. And it's really hard to actually deal with that. It was one of the more challenging things with graduate school, is the sort of repetition that you have. But you also sort of start forming habits, which are really useful, right? Habits are really useful for you to sort of accomplish things if you sort of focus on the right habits. Your life is not going to change a heck of a lot, right? Like the sort of mundane aspects of life when you're in a PhD they do get to you, right? It's one of the more challenging things that we all have to deal with is that there is this mundane aspect. And then the other thing that you're going to be sort of focused on, as I mentioned at the beginning, is that you're going to be really focused on efficiency and optimization. So what do I mean by that? So you're going to be thinking about how can I squeeze out the most amount that I could possibly do in a single day and accomplish everything I possibly can. It's going to feel like you're going to be like optimizing every single second. And I'm going to push back on that. I have learned over many years that this doesn't quite work as well as you think it does. There's a lot of moments where you can't optimize on and you feel guilty, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to feel really guilty right from the get-go of sort of spending things that are not what you would say productive, quote unquote productive, right? So that is going to be doing things. And the only thing that's productive, the only thing that matters, absolutely the only thing that matters in terms of productivity is publishing. Whatever that looks like, right? So whatever field you're in, it might be journal writing, that's our thing. It might be writing books, whatever field that you're in. And if you're not doing those things every single moment, you're going to feel like you're wasting time. The problem with that is that to write a good research article, to do good research often requires a lot of other tasks that you think are kind of wastes of time. And when you work on something, often what you'll do is you'll work on it and it's going to be total crap. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to come together. And you're going to feel very frustrated and you're going to feel really down on yourself. And all of those things are very much part of the research experience. And you're going to feel like you are not good enough to do this. And I want you to remove away from that sort of efficiency and optimization kind of mindset and focusing on productivity in terms of this is the only outcome that you have, and focus on just the fact that you enjoy the work that you're doing. And then you can get up and do that every single day, that you are enjoying the thing that you're doing. It actually is really useful. The sort of aspects of your work are very useful. So doing things that are not relevant to publications at the time. So for me, I do a lot of reviewing. That's a really big thing. As you get on, like junior scholars, no. But as you sort of get more and more experience, you start getting more journal, articles and things like that are people are going to ask you to review. There's a lot of reading. Reading feels like a total waste of time. And it kind of is, because the returns on reading an article doesn't really sort of pan out immediately, but it does help out. So getting in the mindset of like, okay, I got to spend some time reading to understand what's going on first before I jump into this is going to be useful. And the degree of what you're reading of that is it matters, right? Like sometimes things stick because you've actually spent the time to actually read this rather than skim it. And those things are really, really important, and you kind of figure out what is the right aspect of how much you should read and in depth and in those kind of things. So I'd encourage you to remove the sort of efficiency optimization mindset. However, I understand, we all have been there, we understand everything with this, and I've tried to optimize my life as much as possible. It's impossible. And you will get frustrated very quickly and you'll feel very down on yourself. So what I'm going to recommend is for you to push back on that and continue to push back on the efficiency and optimization. It's important, but at the same time, there's many other aspects of your career that are very, very important. All right, with that, give me a thumbs up to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care and have a wonderful day. All right, bye.